Makim out there, we want to start off with giving all glory, praise, honor, dominion, and power unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Giving double honors unto our apostles and elders at Great Millstone. All this is truth. It's right. Beautiful truth. Beginning with the beautiful name of our power, Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten son, Yahushai, who we do worship. Much love, honor, and respect unto those men, and double honors unto those that are worthy of it, and that are ruling well unto the hopeful elect that are out there listening, believers coming in. Lord's willing, this is an edifying lesson unto you, man. We in them days, we in that time of trouble. We have the name of our power to call on, man. We ain't got nothing to fear. But Yahweh Shai, let these people. Let's be right into Revelation. Because this is what we own. We on the cusp of this, right here.
This is Revelation 13, starting at the 11th verse. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth.
That's a system, a world system coming up out from amongst the people. What people is going to rule this system? The same system that we ruled before, the old beast, Rome. Who ruled that system? The Edomites.
And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Same thing in the ancient Roman Empire. They had two political houses, the plebeians and the patricians. Right. This time, right now, is the Democrats and Republicans. But it's the same old beast. But it's the same system. Because it was different from all the other beasts that came before it. They were ruled by monarchs and kings in succession. This one was ruled by a senate. They would vote in their leaders.
And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him.
And that's what they're doing right now with that. The military, man, is talking about within 24 hours, the whole place is going to be back. The same thing in Rome. When they went into a place, they did it quickly. It didn't take no time. And what this man is doing right now with the world having it on shutdown is the same way the Roman Empire did. They dealt with siege warfare. Shut everything from going in. Make the people get disgruntled and want us. That's what they're doing now. They're making people be enclosed in their houses. So they come to them for need. They go in there and they get them out.
Can I make a quick point real quick? In verse 11, when it says he spake as a dragon, that's going into his draconian laws, which basically is unjust laws. And we can see that being played out today as we speak. 24-hour vaccinations, military enforcement, you know.
I got that word besiege because you said besiege. I got the word definition of besiege. It says, of a place surrounded by armed force aimed to capture it or force surrender. That's what besiege. That's what the government is using the military to use to come down on you people, besiege you on all sides. So who you gonna really call on?
And if I could say real quick, like the brother was mentioning, that draconian law, speaking as a dragon, that's what's going to bring the military to besiege this place out.
That's right. And the brother was talking about the laws. You get that in Isaiah 10, what they've been prescribing. You had something? I got that. Go ahead.
This is the book of Daniel 8, verse 25. And through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
Through his policy, he's going to make his craft, his underhanded slide moves to prosper. This man has that power to do it. He said, hey, we're going to shut the world down on a pandemic. He not doing it. He made it to prosper because he had that power.
And he shall magnify himself in his heart.
Hey, he's been magnifying himself in his heart since the time of the late 60s when they was going up into space or trying to get out there. And they have a space force now.
Hey, and especially with this new COVID thing, because he putting it forth as if he the only one that can help you.
Woo!
You know?
As if he is a god. Yep. He's saying it's all about science. He don't mention the Most High, he don't mention the sun.
That's right.
He don't mention nothing spiritual. He says science. Yep. That's his God. That's right.
And by peace shall destroy many.
By peace, he said we need to get this vaccine out to everybody, the haves and the have-nots, so we can go back to things being normal. But there was nothing ever normal about this place. But that is a slide craft.
He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
So he stand up against the prince of princes because at the very same time they have a space force. They put things out there in space. They got their different weaponry out there. They're waiting for who to come back. Lord, Savior, Yahushua, Mashiach. But he's going to be broken without hand when Yahushua
12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him.
Oh, that's all he does, military might. And once they give a decree, then they have to execute. Going back into history real quick. Herod. The reason that this dude Herod was reigning as the king over our people, which he was not our people. He was an Edomite. He was a terrorist. The reason he was reigning over Jerusalem at that time when the Lord was born is because he was commissioned by the Roman Senate to go in there and rule over that place. So that's how you know they make the law, they dish it out, and then it happens. They execute. Same power as the first beast. That's right.
And caused the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was
They
healed.
worship Rome. Hey, people was crying and going to vote, dancing in the streets, thinking that they made something happen. Same as Rome. They thought they was voting somebody in that was good for them, but no, they was just giving bread and circus, and whoever was reigning in his own state.
I got a precept for that.
I was just going to say, it says whose deadly wound was healed because the Roman Empire fell, as we all know, but it's been risen. Today what's known as the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, and the European Union, EU. These are the devils that run the earth, come up with all these policies, destroy it. This is that beast.
And this is how you know that is the old beast Rome, right? But how you know that's Rome? Because when they came together with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization in 1957, but it wasn't put into law until 1958, they called it what? They all connect.
I got the precept. The precept what is going into is chapter 4, Revelation 13, verse 3. Okay? It says, and I saw one of the heads as it were wounded to death. His deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. This is basically going when Septimius Severus led that revolt and wounded Rome in 193 AD. So you can Google that and it'll tell you the actual history if you type in during the year of the 5 emperors. Okay?
And that's beautiful that you said that, because when he wounded that head, it wasn't all the way destroyed. It's just that Esau lost his power in Rome and Jake took over.
That's right. Yeah, no, that was a
Oh, and then now that beast's wound is healed, because who's back in that power again? Who has it again? Edom. And this is the end of his age. This is the time he's going to be fulfilled.
Back in Revelation 13 and verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men.
Woo! And that's going back to the end of the Second World War when he dropped those bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. That made the nations fear, but now this dude has even more tech than that. He has nuclear, direct energy weapons, lasers out of space. Alright?
Airstrikes. He just did an airstrike not too long ago on the top Iranian general. That was performing a miracle for the whole earth. Collects his military might.
And they fire him down. And that was it. It was healing after the city military in there to get Soleimani. They just seen him.
Excellent.
And just got it there.
Yep, some Edomites sitting on a computer thousands of miles away just typed something in, and the satellite communicated with the drone and struck them down. They didn't even have to be there.
That's it, man. So, hey, they're saying that the nation's feared, seeing a whole snap. This dude's unstoppable. We got to be subject to this. And all the nations have been subject to this man since that time. But now they starting to, get like, hey, have you become as weak as we? We got the same technological advancements as you. That's right. We're going to go head up. And that's that third world war. Quickly coming.
Verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth.
And he deceived them that dwelt on the earth, because a lot of these nations before, they had monarchs, they had other things, but then what did he go in there with? His economic hitman. He went in there with these coups, and then they sent a parliament in there, or they got to send house, somebody getting elected in there. But these nations never did that. They always had a succession of leaders, kings.
And the proof of that is in these countries that the brother's going into, the U.S. has an embassy set up. Okay? Same as Rome.
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
And he had the power to do these things. He was technologically advanced, especially after World War II. They went far and beyond the other nations because they had the Operation Paperclip. The scientists went to Russia. Certain of those scientists, those German scientists, teaming with which is the wisest amongst Edom, came here. And they technologically advanced this place to the future. And all the other nations, that's why they know this place is known as the first world. But other countries are now known as first world.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
The image of the beast is, brother had that image of,
on his phone?
on the phone.
God.
We gonna go into it. Wish we had the sign, brother. You know, it's usually the sign where it's the war on the beast. It tells you what that image is. That's it. So that image is philosophies of this place that they push when they go in there with an embassy. All these places want to be just like Babylon the Great, America. It says democracy, religion, idolatry, homosexuality, because they pushing on all these nations to be like that when they was never like that.
Right.
And you look at the top leaders around the world, they gave up their foreign customs and what? Now they're all wearing suit and ties. Okay, you got a McDonald's all up in their country. Okay, instead of their national dishes and everything, they're all drinking that wine of Babylon.
You know, and they committed adultery because they left the gods, the idols they was worshiping, to get with this harlot, this whore. So they committed adultery in the sense too. Like, and you left what you was doing for thousands of years, heard what this demon is doing for only like 100.
And you notice pretty much every military around the world, they wear camo. But who was the first military to come up with camo? That's because the image of the beast is right here in Babylon the Great. That's why every other nation wants to be like America.
It says lies because all these nations is lying. Like they knew who people are in Babylon the Great. They knew that America has the jewels of the Heavenly Father. Even Israel said that. But all these nations acting like they don't know who we are. But they know. So they took on those lies. And it says covetousness, they want what they can't have. They grasp more and more of the earth and destroying it, following this damn law. And then it says
Which
murder.
which means as far as time or? Yeah, I gotta start doing it in 15 because when it's 30 minutes, it takes you
murder,
like
they
to
murder
upload.
children, Planned Parenthood,
Yours
other
automatically
things,
go to
the alphabet
15.
people, murder, man. That's what it's all been since this place really got its powers from the time of World War II to right now. See how destroyed everything is from that time till now? It's destroyed. That is the image of the beast, and it has all the world following after that. And now they shut the world down to make them want that again. And then we just want everything to go back to normal. And that's what the scripture is talking about. That it had power to give power to the image. And do you want that back? Okay, if you do want that back, we're going to mark to get it back.
Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life into the image of the beast.
And because people didn't think that they liked all that until they shut this thing down. They're like, oh man, we want basketball back. We want this, that, and the third. We want a damn hot dog on a stick or whatever the hell, man. He's getting you to that point of you want it, right?
I got a neighbor.
Go ahead.
He's laid back type of dude.
Yeah.
I heard him, he said, I never go anywhere on Saturdays. He said, but since this lockdown, he said, now I want to get up and go places, man. I ain't got nowhere to go. But he a couch potato though, you know?
Yeah.
Now he want to do stuff because he can't.
They get that power to that image, like,
Yeah.
damn, don't you want to get out there? Hey, because even in the midst of this pestilence, right? What did they have? What was people running out here to do a few weeks ago? Vote. And what was the top thing in the philosophy? Democracy. Everybody believing that crap. But yeah, I thought there was a disease out you can't stand this close to a person. But yeah, you was in the line to vote some clown in. Getting these people into that, oh yeah, we want that image. Do you really want it? Now, if you really do want it, he's going to give you a way to have it. And that's why he's doing all this. Local reset, shut down.
It says, and he has power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Woo! And how they going to be killed? Because things going to be cut off. The things useful for man's life, they're going to begin taking that away from him. And that's what he has the power to do.
And on a wider sense, That's how America gets down anyway. If you're not with what he's trying to institute, what does he do? He sends his military in to kill you, to bomb you, to take over your country. We look at places like Damascus and Lebanon. You know, those used to be flourishing cities. Those are third world countries now.
Right.
You know?
The way Iraq was when Saddam was in there, now look at it.
Right.
And then before Libya was and after they killed my man Gaddafi, it's through. So it just goes to show wherever this man goes, that's for sure.
So it's no wonder they call this place the hammer of the earth. Because they try to strong arm their way into other societies and other political systems. You know?
You know what else he affects is this women's empowerment shit he brings to these other nations.
Yep.
You know?
Right.
And when you look in the scriptures, like when you can see the downfall of a nation by looking
By
at
their women. Oh, and that's what was mentioned in the philosophy, adultery.
Right.
And that's been spread wide rampant in
Right.
these other nations, which ain't never known that. They women want to be like fucking Cardi B and other
Right.
shit over here. You see how it just has destroyed everything? But people want that again. Like, no, I want to get back out there. So they give you a way to get that. Going into the market.
If I could just add real quick at the last part of the verse, it says, "And cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." Hey, us men that you see right here, we don't worship the image of this beast. We don't worship women. You know, we don't glorify in the glories of this world. And spiritually, we're dead. Because all of these people are against us because we don't indulge in adultery. You know, because we don't eat pork. Because we don't smoke weed. So we're looked at as like, they're weird. So spiritually, we're killed in this place.
Hey, you know, I was thinking about, you know, she told me earlier, well, I said, man, I really feel like, damn, I'm really men out here, bro. I feel like real men out here, bro. Like, don't, you know, like the brother said, we don't really indulge in life, period.
It's not living.
You know?
And that's the beauty of waking up to the truth of Yahweh Shekau Shai, is you realize there's nothing to glorify here.
Right.
It's vanity.
Right.
And on top of that, we're still in fucking captivity, man. Ain't no reason to indulge in the life of Babylon. Okay?
The life of Babylon is a wicked ass life. Nothing but filled with wickedness. Adultery, murdering, lying, backstabbing, all type of wicked shit.
Pleasures of the flesh.
Yeah, pleasures of the flesh.
Said that those that will not worship the image of the beast will be killed. Said they will be pushed back. Lockdown. They're saying it's going to be pushed back. They ain't going to be like people don't want to be locked down. They already hated the first one. They're going to bring the second one, so it's going to be pushed back. They're going to die. They're going to be killed because they're going to have to adhere to this man's new system in order for it to continue.
Hey, Salah, can I add to you? You know, they're coming with a curfew now, and but a lot of these sheriff counties they don't want to enforce it.
Like Orange
Yeah,
County.
yeah.
Should be killed because
The same thing with Daniel.
yeah.
Not worshiping the image of the beast.
Yeah, we hold it to it and bow down to the image. But were they destroyed? No, they weren't. Because the Lord told us, I got you. They that adhere into that system, they gonna die. Because they want that system. But they gonna give it away. They gonna see. Esau here.
And this is what it's going to come down to. Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
RFID microchip. Because out of all the nations on the earth that's been shut down, locked down, what nation ain't locked down?
Right.
Sweden, they walking around, no mask, ain't nothing going on because they have that technology over there. That's what they want to push on the whole scale of the world. That's why they shut everything down. It says global reset. We on the fourth industrial revolution or whatever the hell. That's what they're doing. That's what they're pushing. But that's not for us to adhere to that. I gotta